All right, welcome back to the Subatre channel. So, as promised, I will be delivering part 2 of the Rating My Subscribers Locs series. And I'm going to just continue in the order that I received the requests. So, next up on the list is Natural Curls for Life. Be sure to check out her YouTube channel. Let me give you a bit of her story. So, she says that she started her locks via interlocking. She's had them for 2 years and 7 months. In the past, she retightened every 8 weeks. But beginning this year, she now retightens every 3 months. She did recently color her locks, but she washes, conditions, and applies a leave-in conditioner, as well as she sits under a steamer. She says she does all of these things to ensure that her locks are moisturized. So Natural Curls for Life definitely sounds like someone who understands the effects, the negative effects that, doing things such as dyeing and bleaching your locks can have. And she has developed a routine to make sure that her locks stay healthy for as long as possible. So let's look at this now. Thank you, Natural Curls for Life, for putting this together. This is really cool. So you'll see the day one. And she says she started off via interlocking, so it definitely looks like it. And yeah, the locks look like starter locks for sure. Notice the length right now where they're falling at on day one. But then if we go over to the right, you'll see in this photo, they're not hanging as low, and she even labeled it with shrinkage. So she wants you to know that, yeah, when you undergo the locking process, you definitely undergo some shrinkage, but not to fear. Somewhere in that 1 year mark, you can see that she overcame that shrinkage that was happening because the locks have surpassed the length that they were at day one, and they're hanging down to her shoulders. So they're looking good, and you can tell that they've also thickened up when compared to the day one photo. Is it a coincidence that you're wearing same color or similar color shirt, or is that the exact same color shirt? That'd be pretty cool. All right, and then now in year 2, wow, her locks look amazing. They're so thick and so full. Look at the locks in year 2 when compared to the locks on day 1. So that just goes to show that your locks really do thicken up with time. All right, let's look at some other photos that she has sent me. All right, so I know this because I'm subscribed to her channel and watch her videos. She experimented with some purple hair wax recently, and I like how she kind of just put it on a few select locks. She didn't overdo it. She didn't put it all over her head. Just, a little streak here and there of the purple. And I know because I watch her videos that she was able to get this hair wax out. I still feel leery about putting things in my locks, so I probably would never try hair wax. But I know quite a few people who have tried it and who have been able to get it out. So, yeah, I like the purple. And I really am starting to think that you really like the color purple, even though you're not pretty in purple. Shout out to Pretty in Purple. I really like this shot though, because the purple in this photo is like really popping. So I think it was very tasteful how you selected, only certain locks to hold the color. It just looks very tasteful. So very nice. Moving on. This looks like an arrangement of photos of, various hairstyles that she has tried. So let's look at the bottom photo first. It looks like she has either braid out or twist out. Kind of looks like a twist out though from that pattern. I could be wrong, but I'm thinking twist out. Her locks are definitely locked. They're full, and yeah, they're draping. I mean, they're past her shoulders now. So that looks really awesome. Over here, she has either a braid out or twist out for sure, but she has the bottom half hanging down while the top half is in some sort of style, which looks really cool. So a little, updo with the bottom half hanging out so you don't forget that, hey, I got some hang time. And then in this one, I know this is kind of a really simple style, but honestly, this is probably my favorite out of the three. Just having all the hair swooped over to, I guess it would be her right side. It's kind of weird when you're looking at a picture, but yeah, I think that's her right side. And they're just falling like perfectly. It kind of reminds me of, what was the dude's name in Black Panther? I can't think of his name, but you guys know what I'm talking about. He got the hair going off to the locks going off to one side. It's kind of similar to that, except these, it's a whole head of locks and they're all swooping down to one side down the length of her face. So it's just really awesome the way they're doing that. I think this was earlier in her journey, I'll say as well. And there we go with that, with the purple bandana, which kind of supports my theory that her favorite color is purple. And the straps on that shirt are purple as well. So yeah, but these are just various styles that she's tried over the course of her 2 years and 7 months so far. So those are looking great. And then finally, let's go to these pics. So let's start here in the middle. So here you can see the color that she said that she recently experimented with. You see how it's kind of lighter brown and in the front there. So and it was definitely a dye as opposed to a bleach, because it's not super bright, right? You can just tell it was probably like a box dye where only a couple of shades were lifted. But I think it complements her skin complexion very well. So, and then also obviously she has the twister braid out going on. So her locks have definitely gotten longer. They're still full and thick as ever. And you're not even really seeing the complete length because it's crinkled. This one, wow, yeah, looks amazing. They're draping down her back now. Still full, still thick. I don't think she's ever encountered thinning problems. It just looks amazing. And honestly, her locks kind of look like she retwists. It doesn't even look like she interlocks because they're so thick, in my opinion. So yeah, they're looking great. And then this last photo, this one you can really see the dye, how it's brown in the front. And, obviously there's no twist out here. You just see like her actual length, and they are just really thick. They're definitely completely locked. Obviously there's the frizz that's to be expected because it's a lock journey. I like how the back locks that are pushed forward are darker than obviously the ones that were dyed in the front. It's a nice contrast. And I like how the locks kind of just cup her face. So yeah, natural curls for life. I give you a 10 out of 10, ma'am. Continue with the great job that you're doing with your lock care. It's working for you. And thank you so much for sending these pictures and the backstory. All right, next up we have YLW. So she said that she started her journey semi-freeform back in September of 2018 from a small afro. She just washed her hair in a circular motion and allowed the locks to form. She says that she got her locks twisted at the scalp about 4 months ago, and it was a mistake because the young lady used wax. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm sorry that happened to you. You would think that someone that sees your hair texture would know by now that wax is not needed. But yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry that happened. She says she washes whenever she feels the need, and after washing, she oils her scalp and sprays her locks with rose water. And she's sure to separate. And she's gonna insert some pics, which she did. So this is the pic showing I think you ladies call it the TWA, teeny weeny afro, that she said she started out with, because remember, she's semi-freeformed. So that looks very awesome. I love it. I love it. It's like a perfect mini fro, right? All right, and then this one, it's a little bit later. You can see the hair is a little bit longer. You can also see that something is starting to happen. Locks are starting to form and take shape for sure. So let's move on. This one, okay, the hair is definitely longer. The locks are taking more shape and more form, and they're becoming more individualized. The tips seem, even though, you just kind of washed your hair in a circular motion, the tips don't look completely locked yet, but the majority of the locks, if you will, for lack of a better term, the budding seems to have occurred down most of the length of them. So I don't know. It looks like you have about 4A, 4B hair, which is perfect for locking. So, and did I mention, yeah, they've gotten even longer in this pic. Alrighty, so this one, the locks have definitely now started to drop. They're going down now, versus in the previous one, they were kind of still up a bit. But now they've gotten that length and that extra weight, and so now they've started to drop. You can definitely see the frizz in them. And they are starting to look thicker too. And I think that's also because of the frizz. All right, here's the next pic where, yeah, they're longer. You can see the frizz, and you can see the locks are still forming, still kind of coming into themselves. And they're definitely individual locks for sure. So they're looking great. It looks like you, with that smile on your face, you're just content with being patient on this lock journey. It looks like you're just letting your locks do what they need to do. And I think that's great. That's the right approach. All right, here's another one. And getting closer, you can see the frizz, and you can see how they're still locking up with time. But they're looking great. Your hair is nice and thick at the level of the scalp, which makes for a perfect set of locks, in my opinion. All right, so just because you may be early in your game doesn't mean you can't test out styles. Whenever I see these kind of crazy looking curls, I'm going to call them Medusa curls. I always think of the Bantu knot out, because I feel like the Bantu knots, when you take them out, it gives that like really crazy curl where the curls are going in all sorts of directions. I don't know if that's what you did to get this, to achieve this look, but that's what I would be willing to guess. And it looks great. I mean, you can obviously still see the frizz, which is expected, and that's what you want, because it helps to make your set look really full. But yeah, I can just tell that you're just enjoying the journey, you're doing your thing, and you look great. So very nice. All right, and then she says she does not use a lot of products on her hair, and she's sure to wrap it every night. Good woman, very good woman. And then let's go up top, where she sent these. So this is a little bit later, and her locks look pretty much completely locked, and they're definitely thicker. The scalp is still full of hair, still thick. This lock off to your right, it's the left part of the screen, but it will be your right, YLW. Looks like, I think I see like a 2-strand twist pattern or something. I don't know if you combined locks or what, but I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, let's look at the next photo and see. Yeah, see how there's kind of a 2-strand twist? I don't know if you combined a couple of locks because you thought they were too small. I'm sure it wasn't from thinning, because your scalp is so full of hair, you're not thinning anywhere that I can see. So, but yeah, look how nice and mature these locks are. They're just perfect. And that length is there. They're definitely hanging at your shoulder now. And then at this final picture, oh my God. When you look at this picture, doesn't it just make you, oh, so jealous? Wow, look at these locks. Perfect. These are the locks that stir up envy in people. Wow. Full set of locks. They look moisturized. You don't see any thinning anywhere. You don't see scalp. The locks are just super thick. They're really coming into their own, and you're just allowing your locks to do what they're supposed to do and be what they're supposed to be. So kudos to you. Definitely 10 out of 10. You know, I might have to give you an 11 out of 10 for this photo because just those locks are absolutely stunning. All right, and we've arrived at Skinny Vegan. So he said he started his locks 2.5 years ago with 2-strand twists. He doesn't use any products, just rose water and castor oil. He's currently freeforming after experiencing some thinning. So he sent 3 pics, and let's take a look at them. So first of all, I love the look of your locks. And yeah, I can definitely tell that you started with 2-strand twists because if you look at the tips, you can still see the pattern. So this is probably a little bit earlier in your journey. But you can also tell that it has definitely locked up as you get closer to the roots, down, I would say, a little bit past midway, the length of them. And it's just a very cool look. I know a lot of people that don't like the 2-strand twist look. You know, they're just in such a hurry for their locks to look like quote unquote locks. But I like that 2-strand twist look in them. It's kind of unique, you know, it's kind of like a hybrid, half lock, half 2-strand twist. And it just looks dope. I like how the locks are just kind of cupping your face. It's like the perfect length. And recently I was even talking about how I kind of miss that length. And so I'm sure you enjoyed when they were that long. All right, here they look a little bit thicker for sure. You can still see the 2-strand twist pattern on them. And your scalp looks full, dude. I don't know when or where they started to thin, but it's not noticeable from these pictures that I've seen so far. Your locks look thick and your scalp looks full of hair. Now, I don't know if when you say thinning, if it thinned out as a result of you not retwisting, and maybe you thought it was thinning out because you were doing too much maintenance. So for those of you who follow my channel, you know that yes, your hair can thin out because you're doing too much maintenance, but you know that it can also thin out because you're not doing enough maintenance. And a lot of people who maybe semi-freeform, they encounter their locks thinning out because their hair grows away from their locks. So I would say whenever you are noticing that your locks are thinning out, but at your scalp you have a lot of hair, then that means your hair grows away from your locks and you actually need to do a little bit more maintenance. Like you need to do it more often to incorporate those hairs back into the lock. I don't know if that is what happened with you. I'm going to assume it didn't because you said that you noticed thinning, so then you started freeforming. But just keep that in mind, Skinny Vegan. And yeah, just pay attention to your locks. So that's a dope picture, and I can see that they're draping down your back now. And then this last photo you showed me, this is at 2 years and 4 months. They look even thicker. They definitely have a freeform look. Some of them look a bit flat, which is to be expected when you're freeforming because you're not palm rolling to round them out to give them that completely cylindrical look. And even on some of them, I can still see the 2-strand twist pattern. So that just goes to show you that when you start with that method, it can take a long time for it to completely go away. Luckily for you, Skinny Vegan, it looks awesome though, you know. Your scalp still looks full and thick with hair, and I don't know. It looks like a nice set of locks. If you look at the bottom, there's one lock that has really taken off that you have pushed forward. So I don't know how that lock got so long. I don't know if you were putting biotin, crunching it up and, putting it on your scalp in that area or what, but it like really took off. But no, it looks really great. So your locks are doing well. Just continue doing what you're doing. Make sure you continue to pay attention to your locks closest to the scalp so that it's never thinning. And if it is, you might want to consider doing some sort of maintenance. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for the photos and the backstory. This has been fun. I've enjoyed rating your locks. Oh yeah, did I tell you, Skinny Vegan? 10 out of 10. Duh. I've enjoyed rating your locks. You all have awesome and unique sets of locks. So just continue doing what you're doing and let your locks tell you what they need, and you will be gravy. So I'm going to get out of here. You guys continue to take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.